It's Friday, July 2nd, and welcome to This Week in Linux News. Let's start things off with some news that's a little bit close to me. Ohio Linux Fest has decided they're going to extend their call for presentations until July 7th. So if you're going to be in the Ohio area around September 10th through the 12th and you'd like to give a presentation on a Linux-related topic, go to ohiolinux.org and submit your presentation idea. I've already gone ahead and submitted one about my video editing with Kdenlive presentation. Hopefully they'll select that, and if you are going to be there, let me know. I'd love to hang out with you guys. In other news, Fedora Project has decided to pick a new leader. Paul Fields is going to be leaving and being replaced by Jared Smith. Jared's an active participant in the Red Hat and Fedora communities and has been active in the Fedora community since about 2007. Looks like he's got a lot of stuff on his plate for the month of July, but I'm going to try to get in touch with his people to see if I can do an interview with him sometime in the future. Let's talk about a couple of software updates. Hot on the heels of version 3.6.4 of Firefox, Mozilla's decided to release version 3.6.6. It looks like it really only fixes one major bug. Whenever a plugin would hang, become unresponsive, or anything for more than 10 seconds, it would mark it as crashed and dump it. Well, they figured out there are some plugins that take longer than 10 seconds to respond, so they've extended that from 10 to 45 seconds. Another software update, K3B version 2.0, came out this week. The biggest thing about it, it comes with Blu-ray writing support. That's just one more step toward Linux being the ultimate media center. In other media news, FFMpeg has actually been working on their own implementation of Google's VP8 codec. It looks like they've had some challenges along the way, but they've made some significant progress, and we look forward to seeing that in the near future. As far as more software updates, Shotwell version 0.6.1 has been released. The biggest things about this version, it now supports RAW and PNG images. They've also added the ability to open photos in an external editor directly from Shotwell. It looks like Shotwell is shaping up to be a very nice piece of photo management software. And I'll briefly mention a couple of distro releases from this week. Ubuntu 10.10 Alpha 2 released. Not a whole lot of changes to that, but it's out there. FreeBSD 8.1's release candidate 2 is now available. And Red Hat 6 Beta 2 is now available. And now let's move on to some mobile type stuff. It looks like Cisco's decided they're going to be releasing a tablet of their own. It's going to be a 1.5 pound device with a 1.6 GHz Atom processor, 32 GB of flash memory, a 7-inch high-definition touchscreen, Wi-Fi, 3G and 4G cellular service, an 8-hour battery life, a front-facing and rear-facing camera, that rear-facing camera being a 5-megapixel 720p HD video camera, as well as dual noise-canceling microphones. Cisco is calling the device the Cius and expects to release it after the beginning of next year. If you hadn't noticed, there are quite a few cell phones coming out now with a Qualcomm processor in them. Well, because of that, Qualcomm has decided they're going to be releasing an open source 2D/3D video driver for it. That should make the cell phone market for phones with Qualcomm processors in them very exciting in the near future. While we're on the subject of cell phones, Samsung has decided they're going to be releasing 5 new Android phones to all the 5 major carriers in the US: Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, and US Cellular. These will have a 4-inch 800x400 AMO LED screen, a 1 GHz Cortex processor, a 5-megapixel camera, and just a lot of the other standard things that are coming in these new phones. The Android fanboy inside of me is screaming yay, but at the same time I'm still on AT&T and I know they're going to gimp the phone when they get it. T-Mobile's device will be available on the 21st, and the rest of them are in the coming months with no official date or pricing announced. And to finish things up, Intel has been busy this week. Early this week, they demoed their version of MeeGo for tablets. They put up a video or two on YouTube showing how you could interact with it on the touchscreen. Very cool video. I will put a link to that and everything else, of course, in the doobly-doo. But later in the week, they made a second video showing off how it's going to work on handsets. Personally, I don't care for the look of MeeGo on a handset, but it does have a lot of potential, a long way that it can go from here. It could really be a good Android competitor. And realistically, the more Linux-based phones we've got on the market, the better. But I think that's all I've got for you today. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.